Okay, so this is going to be a little bit of a shorter video where I work on my Grixis deck with Nekusar, the Mindrazer. He's a 2/4. At the beginning of each player's draw step, that player draws an additional card. Whenever an opponent draws a card, this commander deals 1 damage to that player. This card is so much fun. It's so broad, it hits everybody. This is like an auto target whenever I play it, but I love that fact. I love that it starts that shit with everybody I play with. And it counts as commander damage because it's the card dealing 1 to the player. So, as I said, I have most of this deck laid out already. There was just some improvements, notably with the mana ramp I had in here. Kind of started too late. Some of it was inefficient. And then I got a few cards off to the side here that are like my maybe pile, where there's like 1 or 2 where when I make my opponents draw a card, I don't know, sometimes it seems to end up helping them more than help me. A lot of times, actually. So it's not quite the payoff I want it to be, and I think I'm going to take some of them out. Excuse me, some of them out. So, without further ado, let me go through the ramp that I'm definitely getting rid of. Dark Ritual here. Yeah, it's great. It's 1 mana. You get so many black, but it's just too slow. And it's not worth it, frankly. I'd rather put a lot of other cards in here to fit that gap, like Chrome Mox. 0. So it's 1 cheaper, you could argue. And then whenever you get to add 1 mana of whatever you exile to play this card, and you can exile any non-land, non-artifact. So you exile colored card, you get that color. If you get all 3, you can produce all 3. The fact that it's for 0, it's just awesome, objectively better than Dark Ritual. The next one I'm going to get rid of is Mind Stone. It's not a bad card at all, and I love the art because it's from that Warhammer 40k set. It's just the fact that it adds 1 colorless. My commander alone is 3 colors, and a lot of cards in this deck are like counter spells and things that might only cost color, have no gray in them. So again, I'd rather just put other items in there just to speed up the process. So I'm going to do a Mana Vault. It's a 1 mana artifact. It doesn't untap during your untap step. At the beginning of your upkeep, you can pay 4 of any color and untap it. At the beginning of your draw step, if it's tapped, it deals 1 damage, okay? But it gives you 3 colorless mana. Now, I know what I just said about colorless, but I, any day, would rather have 3 colorless to 1 colorless. And that's what makes this a much easier choice than Mind Stone. And the fact that it costs 1, I just lowered my curve quite a bit. Next one I'm going to take out is Chromatic Lantern. It's nice that I can use mana of any color, and it's a rock in itself, but it just costs 3, and that's really slow, especially for a mana rock. So I'd rather replace that with something a little bit better. I'm going to do Mox Amber. It's 0, and you can add 1 mana of any color among legendary creatures or planeswalkers. It costs 0 and lets me add mana of any color. The only caveat is I got to get a legendary out. I don't have that many legendary creatures in here, to be honest. Maybe none, but I do have my commander that's legendary. Oh, yeah, I got Children. I do have my commander that's legendary, so I just want to get him out soon, and then once I got him out, I can piggyback off having him out. But the priority should be him anyway, so that 0 is worth it. The next one I'm going to cut out is the Signets. I have 3 Signets here, Rakdos, Dimir, and Izzet. They're not bad cards again, just I have things that do their job better. I hate to pay 2 mana, and then I need 1 the next turn to throw an extra 1. It's just so clunky to get it out, especially if you have to decide, on turn, do you have an extra land on turn 2, so you're paying 3 to get 2. Is that worth it? No, so I'd rather throw in Mox Opal. Again, 0 mana, add 1 mana of any color. I can only activate if I could control 3 or more artifacts, but I have a lot of mana rocks in here because this deck is really expensive. Yes, also this is a proxy, obviously. So are the Chrome Mox and Chrome Amber. I got it on NPC Phil. Shout out to them. I'll put the link in the description. It's a very easy, convenient way to order. You just make like a master list of the cards you want. You can order the proxies. The Mana Vault is too, because, I'm a broke bitch. So I'm going to put in here instead a Lotus Petal, 0 mana. It only has a 1-time use where you can tap, sack it, and add 1 mana of any color. But the fact that it costs 0 just simply cannot be beat. And I love the advantage that puts me in. So now, let me move this up a little bit here so you can see. So my mana rocks are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11, so not bad. This deck, again, is pretty expensive in terms of mana cost. So I would like to have as many sources as I can. 11 is totally acceptable for me. I would be okay with one more, too, if I had something that good. But as far as non-ramp, what I'm going to add right now is Nightscape Familiar. 2 mana, so 1 colorless, 1 black. It's a 1/1. Blue and red spells cost 1 less when I have this out. Doesn't stack, I looked that up. And if I tap 2, I can regenerate it. So it's just a little neat mana rock that helps me kind of reduce the cost of everything. It almost operates as a medallion. And then if I needed to, it acts as a blocker and I can regen it. Next one I'm going to get rid of is Kami of the Crescent Moon. It's not a bad card. It's just an okay card. And it costs 2 blue to make each player draw an additional card. I just feel like a lot of times when I play this card, it ends up helping somebody else more than me. And then when you get rid of my commander, and let's say I don't have the mana for it, like everybody's getting wildly ahead of me. So it's just too high of a risk reward, especially with a commander who paints a target on their back. I am going to add Cataract. I hope I didn't butcher that. Parasite. 1 black. It's a 1/1. Whenever opponent draws a card, if you control a red permanent, you may have this card deal 1 damage to that player. Well, guess what? This is Grixis, so I definitely got it. The next one I'm going to get rid of is Dictate of Krufix. It's kind of the same thing as Kami of the Crescent Moon. It's 2 blue, also a 1. It has flash, I'll give it that, but at the beginning of each player's draw step, that player draws an additional card. Again, this can get really out of hand and get out of hand for your opponent. And if you get rid of my commander, take control of it, or anything like that, which people in my play group do, oh man, you're just so screwed and you're so behind. So instead, I'll go for another 0 mana counter spell. If you control your commander at 0. Counter target non-creature spell. Fierce Guardianship. This is also Proxy, but this is just a fantastic card. Like, it's just so good. Next card I'm going to get rid of is Psychosis Crawler. It's not bad. Again, just not good. It's 5 mana, and it's equal to the number of cards in your hand. So that can get a little tricky if you don't have your Thought Vessel, like I have here, or your Reliquary Tower out. You know, this card could be really shit. And yeah, making an opponent lose 1 life per card drawn, especially with something like Nekusar, is not bad. But there are frequent times where I won't have any cards in my hand because I'll just be rolling through quickly and I'll hit a block where I just don't have a replacement. And then this card pretty much sucks and dies out, or it's a 1/1. It's a big investment for 5, so I'd rather just have something off the rip that's good. I'll do a counter spell instead. It's 2 blue, but just super simple. Counter anything. So that is my Nekusar deck. I think the improvements I made are really going to help it go through a little bit faster, like go through the wheels a little bit faster, because the deck is all about wheeling people out. And I think that these slight additions, although they seem slight, are really going to push it higher. I did think about taking out Prosperity because you need a lot of mana investment and each player draws X. It doesn't just help you. This could go sideways, especially if somebody like kills your commander and then you play this. This card kind of lost its feel to it. Archmage Ascension was another one. It costs 3 mana. At the beginning of your end step draw, if you drew 2 cards or more, put an Ascension counter on this. As long as it has 6 or more, if you would draw a card, instead you could search your library for a card, put that card into your hand, then you shuffle. This card could be really good if you get 6 counters, but it requires you to basically draw 12 cards in total for this. And then you get a Demonic Tutor on tap. Not the best card. Takes a little time to ramp up. I have the black one in here, which I think is leagues better, which is Bloodchief Ascension. At the beginning of the end step, if you lost 2 more life, if an opponent lost 2 more life, you put a quest counter, just like Archmage. But with this one, you don't need 6, you need 3. And when you have the 3, whenever a player puts a card in their graveyard from anywhere, they lose 2 and you gain 2. This can get really out of hand too. It's nice that it costs 1 mana. That's a big help to it. So yeah, I kept it for now. We'll see what happens. Otherwise, though, this is pretty much your, classic wheel and deal deck. I will say, I do have something here. This is a mana drain, and this is actually not a proxy. I pulled this from a pack, kind of like how I made that Aragorn deck with everything I pulled. I actually pulled this from a pack, which I think is pretty sweet. It's the original art there, just with that big hand saying, no. Yeah, cool, awesome card there. And then lastly, this is what I think the best card in the deck is. This gets countered whenever I play it against a blue player. Phyrexian Tyranny. It's 1 blue, one I said, let me try that again, guys. 1 blue, 1 green. I did it. I'm looking at the border, and I keep thinking it's green. One blue, black, one red. Whenever a player draws a card, that player loses 2 life unless they pay 2. This is just a absolutely destroying card. When you play this, somebody's either going to counter this, kill this, or kill your commander. Like, they just cannot let that go because that's 3 life. Nobody's paying the 2 mana, especially like before the late game. Phenomenal card here. Thank you guys for watching. That's my video. This is my land. I thought I'd show my Mount Doom there. And this was me finishing up my Nekusar Mindrazer deck. If you're wondering what the other cards are, I will include a deck list at the description there. And you guys can check it out and go for yourself. Next one I'm going to do, I'll see you guys next week. My throat is killing me, as you can hear. I'm going to do a Captain Sisay deck in under 10 minutes. Take care.